Hey there, guys! So it's actually getting close to my 4,000 views anniversary thing. I don't know. We're also getting close. I'm also getting close to like 20 subscribers, and I'm not doing this with a script, so excuse me for that. But what I wanted to talk about today is actually a card which is not super relevant. The only deck I know that uses it competitively, that's like doing good with it, is a Burning Abyss, and the card I'm talking about is the Supply Squad. And just talking about it because many people have been bashing the card for being bad in other decks. Now, I don't see why this is such a bad card for people. Sure, there are a couple of decks which can abuse it really hard, like Scraps, Burning Abyss, and of course the Fire Kings. Those decks just wreck the face off people if they get these cards off, because you get to just out resource your opponent, and it was at such a rapid pace that your opponent, it's not really going to know what's going on. Now, I've been thinking about this a lot since I made Fire King, since, in my opinion, the best deck I've built so far, without a doubt. And it's a solid deck. I mean, Supply Squad just wrecks everything if you get that, if you get just one of them together with the Garunix Loop. You get to draw one time every standby phase, plus your own draw phase, which means that you can run stuff like Reckless Greeds and stuff without worrying about losing your draw phase. Not necessarily saying that you should run Reckless Greed, because you're going to deck out faster than anyone else. Well, the only deck that I can see that decks out faster and use probably Lightsworn because they mill, but this is a very powerful card in the deck that in the decks that play it. Because it allows you to out-resource opponents. I mean, seriously, let's put this into perspective. If you play Fire Kings, get the loop off, and have at least one Supply Squad on board, you're going to out-resource even Shaddolls and Stellar Knights. Those don't even care. Those two don't win against you if you have this card on, which is why people MST it, which is also why it's so good, because it's MST bait. Because they know if they get rid of this thing, you're not going to get any pluses, but if they don't decide to hit it, I'm going to get pluses, but they don't. But if they hit it, they miss using an MST on some really important back row, such as my bottomless trap holes and stuff like that. I'm not necessarily saying that my deck runs a lot of back row, because the only back row we run is basically 3 wiretaps, 1 bottomless trap hole, the solemn warning, and of course our what the fuck are they called? And of course our circles. Those are probably the most relevant ones that we're going to be running face down. Now, this is a card which I just feel like is underrated because it has such a limited use outside of the Fire Kings, Scraps, and of course the Burning Abyss. Now, of course, and well, Yang Zing can also utilize it to a very large degree, because they pop their own shit with Yazi now. As soon as next Challengers comes out, and they're going to be running triple Supply Squad is going to be a staple in that deck, along with running triple Skill Drain, which is really cool. Now, the card wasn't really that good when it first came out, but look at it now. Like Burning Abyss, it's a staple in that deck, because you get so much pluses of it. You're going to out-resource everything if you have it. So I just felt like it's a card which needs more representation from other decks. Now, of course, the decks that are going to be getting the most benefit out of that card is decks that don't take punishment from getting their monsters destroyed. In fact, the decks that destroy their own monsters to get effects is probably the decks that are going to have the best time playing with this deck. I mean, like, say, Scraps, they can use stuff with Scrap Dragon and Scrap Twin Dragon to get pluses off of it. Friggin' not Stellar Knights, friggin' a Burning Abyss, they pop themselves when something that isn't a friggin' Burning Abyss is on board, and the Fire Kings, they just get the loop off, and you get to draw consistently every single standby phase, unless your opponent breaks the combo or breaks your Supply Squad, which is a waste of an MST to a certain extent. Because they could have hit something way more valuable, such as a bottomless trap hole, a wiretap, or anything else of the sort. Now, as you guys know already, Fire Kings is my favorite deck, and I feel like if Supply Squad is going to still stay at 3, the deck is going to be doing very well in upcoming formats. Because of at some point there's going to be a meta where it's going to probably be like Yang Zing versus Fire Kings. That would be a great format, just saying. Not saying that Fire Kings are ever gonna become tier 1. They were tier 1.5 at one point in time when during the Fire King. What am I saying? During the Dragon Ruler Spellbook format, they had like a little bit of a a start in the tier 1.5, tier 1. They were like tier 1 deck because they were played a lot because they were so damn strong. Sometimes they just got that loop off, and even if you play Dragon Rulers, you're not going to be able to do much because eventually that Garunix is going to blow and you're going to just lose everything that you summon. Spellbooks had a much easier way out to it with Fate, but yeah, so tell me what you guys think about this card, and I am out.